never imagined my world could break in a single night, but it happened the moment I stepped into the mansion earlier than planned. I whispered to myself, just surprise him, Alina, believing love was still strong enough to hold us together. But the moment I heard voices inside, something in me froze. Daniel's voice came first, sharp and proud. Then I heard Maya whisper, "She will never know, Daniel." My hand trembled on the doorknob. I pushed the door slightly, just enough to see them standing far too close. Daniel's arm was around her waist, and her head rested on his shoulder like it belonged there. I felt my breath leaving my body. "Daniel, why are you doing this?" Maya asked softly. He laughed, a laugh I once loved, now cutting me like a knife. "Alina is good for stability," he said. "She makes life easy. But she's too ordinary for my future." My heart cracked so loudly I swore they could hear it. I wanted to scream, to walk in and ask why I wasn't enough, but my feet refused to move. Maya touched his cheek and said, "So you're finally choosing me?" Daniel nodded like betraying me meant nothing. My chest tightened so hard I had to cover my mouth to stop myself from crying. "She is too simple," Daniel added. "You and I fit better." Every word stabbed me, but I stayed silent, hidden behind the door like a ghost inside my own life. When Maya leaned in and kissed him, something inside me shattered completely. I stepped back, almost stumbling over my own shoes. My voice broke when I whispered, "I can't stay here anymore." I turned away and ran down the hallway, my steps loud but my heart even louder. Tears blurred my sight as I grabbed my bag from the living room. Why wasn't I enough? I whispered to myself over and over. My hand shook as I opened the front door, praying they wouldn't hear me leave. But before stepping out, I looked back one last time. The home I once loved suddenly felt like a cage built from broken promises. "I'll leave," I told myself. "But I'll never forget this." Outside, the cold night air hit my face, making my tears fall even faster. I held my bag close and whispered, "I trusted you, Daniel." I trusted both of you. My knees weakened, and I sat on the steps, covering my face with trembling hands. I could still hear their voices inside, laughing like my pain meant nothing. "How long has this been happening?" I asked myself, shaking. My whole body felt heavy, like the world was pushing me into the ground. I thought about every moment I defended Daniel, every time I trusted Maya, and anger replaced my fear. "This pain will stay," I whispered. "But I won't." I stood up slowly, wiped my tears, and took a shaky breath. "Leave now," I told myself. "Leave before you break completely." I walked down the long driveway, each step feeling like it carried a piece of my heart away. The night felt darker than ever, but I didn't stop moving. My phone buzzed, but I ignored it, too broken to speak to anyone. "I'll survive this," I whispered, even though my voice shook with doubt. The road ahead looked endless, but I forced myself to keep walking. Every step hurt, but it also reminded me I was still alive. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew I couldn't go back. I walked into the night with my pain. Daniel woke me the next morning by kicking the edge of the bed. "Get up," he said coldly. "Pack your things and go." I rubbed my eyes, still swollen from crying. "Daniel, please, just talk to me. Why are you doing this?" He folded his arms. "I don't owe you anything. Maya understands me better." "You were just comfortable." My voice cracked. "Comfortable?" "I gave you everything I had." He laughed, sharp and cruel. "And that's the problem. You think that's enough. It's not." He pointed at the closet. "Take your suitcase and leave before noon." I stepped toward him. "Daniel, please don't throw away 3 years like this." "3 boring years," he snapped. "Maya is different. She makes me feel alive." My heart sank. "So I never mattered?" "You mattered as long as you were useful," he said. "Now pack." His words hit me harder than any slap. I grabbed my suitcase with shaking hands. "You're choosing her over me, just like that?" He shrugged. "Stop making this dramatic." "You'll survive." Tears burst out. "You don't even feel guilty?" "Why would I?" He said, "You'll be fine. You always cling to people." "That's your problem." I zipped the suitcase and whispered, "I loved you." He didn't flinch. Not my fault. When I walked past him, he didn't even look at me. At the doorway, I begged, "Daniel, please don't do this." "Leave, Alina," he said firmly. "Maya will be here soon." That broke me. I stepped outside, the door shutting behind me like a final blow. The morning sun felt harsh on my wet face. My knees gave out and I collapsed on the pavement. Why? I whispered, pressing my hands to my chest as if I could hold my heart together. Why wasn't I enough? I cried until my throat burned. People walked past, staring, but I couldn't move. My world had just ended. With trembling fingers, I called the only person I could. Ryan, please come. He answered instantly. Alina, what happened? Where are you? Outside Daniel's house, I whispered. I'm coming. Don't move. 15 minutes later, he pulled up and jumped out of the car. Alina! His face twisted with worry as he helped me stand. What did he do? I shook my head. He told me to leave. He chose Maya. Ryan clenched his jaw. He cut himself off, breathing hard. Get in the car. You're never coming back here. As we drove, his hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly I thought it might break. He kicked you out like this? He muttered. I swear if I see him. Ryan, please, I whispered. No, Alina, you don't deserve this. He's trash. I leaned against the window. I don't know what to do now. You'll stay with me, he said firmly. You're not going through this alone. We reached his small apartment. He carried my suitcase inside and asked softly, You want water, food, anything? I shook my head. I just want to sleep. But when I lay down, sleep refused to come. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Daniel's cold face. I mattered to him once, I whispered. Ryan stood at the doorway. You mattered to me. And I'll help you start over. I nodded weakly, though inside everything felt empty. My old life had ended in one morning, and I had no idea how to rebuild myself from the ruins. I spent my first week at Rand's apartment pretending I was fine. Every night I cried into a pillow, hoping he wouldn't hear. One evening he knocked on my door. Alina, are you okay? I wiped my face fast. Yeah, I'm fine. You're lying, he said as he stepped inside. Talk to me. I don't know what to say, I whispered. I keep asking myself what I did wrong. Maybe I was boring. Maybe I wasn't enough. Stop, he said sharply. Daniel broke you, but that doesn't mean you were the problem. I stared at my shaking hands. Then why did you choose her? Because he's weak, Ryan said. Because she's easy. Because they deserve each other. My throat tightened. I hate that it still hurts. He sat beside me. It will, but listen to me, Alina. He placed a hand on my shoulder. If they broke you, rebuild yourself so strong that they can't even touch you again. His words cut straight through the fog in my chest. Do you really think I can? I know you can, he said. You just forgot who you are. I took a long breath, but maybe it's time I do something. I can't sit here forever. Ryan smiled a little. Good, what do you want to do? I think I should work again, I said. Go back to the cafe. The one you left after moving in with Daniel? He asked gently. Yeah, I whispered. I need a fresh start. Then I'll drive you tomorrow, he said. And I'll be proud of you. The next day, the cafe smelled exactly like I remembered warm bread and old coffee machines. Laura looked up from behind the counter, gasped, and ran to me. Alina, where have you been? I forced a smile. Life happened. She hugged me tight. I'm so glad you're back. Do you want your old job? Yes, I said softly. If you'll have me. Of course, she said. We'll start slow. And if you need a break, just tell me. Thank you, I whispered, grateful someone still cared. As the hours passed, I focused on wiping tables and taking orders. My eyes still burned from sleepless nights, but the work kept my hands busy, my mind quieter. When I handed a cup of tea to an elderly man sitting near the window, he looked at me with gentle eyes. You seem tired, he said. Long day? I let out a small laugh. Long life, he smiled kindly. I'm Hamid, I come here often. Nice to meet you, I said. He studied me for a moment. You're carrying something heavy, aren't you? I looked down at my tray. Something like that. You don't have to say it, he said. Pain has a way of showing itself. I hesitated, then whispered, I'm trying to get back up. That is enough, he replied. Most people stay down. His words warmed something inside me. I hope so. Strength grows in quiet places, he said. And you look stronger than you think. When I walked back to the counter, Laura asked, You okay? I nodded. I think I'm getting there. For the first time since everything shattered, I felt a spark inside me small. But alive, Mr. Hamid returned to the cafe almost every morning. Each time he greeted me with the same warm smile. One day, he watched me rush between tables with messy hair and tired eyes. When I brought him his usual tea, he said, "You work with such quiet strength." I laughed softly. "I'm mostly trying not to fall apart." "You're standing," he replied. "That is enough." I hesitated. "Some days it doesn't feel like enough." He leaned forward. "Tell me, Alina, have you ever considered working in an office?" I blinked. "Me? No, I don't think I belong in a place like that." "Why not?" he asked. "I'm not confident," I admitted. "And my life is a mess right now." He nodded slowly. "My company needs someone honest, hardworking, willing to learn. You are all three." My heart skipped. "You're offering me a job?" "Yes," he said calmly. "Administrative position. Decent pay. Stability." I stepped back slightly. "Mr. Hamid, I'm scared." "I don't want to fail. Sometimes broken people rise the highest," he said. "Because they know what it means to start from nothing." His words hit something deep inside me. "Do you really think I can do it?" He smiled. "I wouldn't offer it if I didn't." I took a shaky breath. "Okay, I'll try." "Good," he said. "Come tomorrow morning. I'll introduce you." The next day, I walked into a tall glass building, my palms sweating. Mr. Hamid greeted me at the entrance. "Don't worry," he said. "You'll be fine." He led me to a quiet office where a man with gentle eyes looked up from his desk. "Adil," Mr. Hamid said. "This is Alina. She'll join the admin team." "Train her?" Adil stood and offered his hand. "Welcome." "Don't worry, we go step by step here." I shook his hand nervously. "Thank you." "I might be slow," he smiled. "Then I'll teach slower." No pressure. As the hours passed, he explained tasks patiently. "Click here," he said. "Good, now type that." "Perfect." His calm voice eased my shaking. At one point I sighed. "I'm not good at this." "You're learning," he replied. "That's enough." I worked through the day, absorbing every detail. When I got home, Ray noticed my tired eyes. "Long day?" "Good day," I corrected. "Really good." That night, I spread papers across the desk and whispered, "I can't fall behind." I studied until my eyes burned. At some point, I fell asleep on the table, waking up with pen marks on my cheek. The following morning, Adil noticed my yawning. "Did you sleep at all?" "Not really," I said. "I was practicing." He chuckled softly. "You don't have to push yourself this hard." "I do," I whispered. "I need this." "Well," he said, "you're doing better than you think." His encouragement slowly built something inside me, something I hadn't felt in months. Confidence. Still, whenever I passed the building's glass walls, fear stabbed me. What if Daniel walked by? What if he saw me working here? Adil noticed me freeze near the window. "You all right?" I forced a smile. "Yeah, just memories." He nodded respectfully. "Memories can hurt, but they can't stop you." I hoped he was right. Yet somewhere deep inside, the fear still whispered, "What if he finds me?" "I can't believe how far you've come," Adil said as he placed a file on my desk. "Your accuracy, your consistency, it's impressive." I lowered my gaze, feeling a warmth I hadn't felt in a long time. "I'm just trying to keep up." "No," he replied firmly. "You're leading." His words settled inside me like a spark. Every small compliment felt like a stitch, repairing a part of me I thought was gone forever. Months had passed since I started working here, and I now moved through the office with confidence I didn't think I would ever feel again. One afternoon, Mr. Hamid stopped by my workstation. I spoke to Adil. He said, "He tells me you're becoming one of our most reliable employees." I swallowed, unsure how to respond. "I just don't want to waste the opportunity you gave me." "You're not wasting anything," he said gently. "You're building something. And I see leadership in you, don't doubt that." His encouragement always hit me deeply, as if he saw the parts of me I hid from everyone else. "Thank you," I whispered. That evening, I sat on my small bed with my savings notebook open. "I can do this," I murmured. I had been planning quietly, sketching ideas, imagining a future where I could stand independently without fear holding my throat. But hope was fragile. One night, as I scrolled through my phone, I froze. Daniel's profile appeared, a new post. Daniel and Maya, their engagement photos, her hands on his chest, his smile. Their perfect poses. My heart clenched and then something unexpected happened. I didn't cry. I breathed, slowly, deeply, and then I whispered, "You won't win." Hearing my own voice shake but not break felt like victory. I stood in front of the mirror. "You won't win," I repeated, louder this time. My reflection didn't look weak. It looked angry, alive, reborn. The next day, I approached a deal cautiously. "Do you know any business seminars going on this month?" He raised an eyebrow. "Looking to expand your skills?" "Looking to expand my life," I replied. He smiled softly. "I'll send you a list." Days later, I walked into my first seminar with trembling hands. The room smelled of coffee, ambition, and opportunity. A woman stood at the front, tall, confident, sharp-eyed. "Everyone," she said. "I'm Nina. I built 3 businesses after losing everything. So don't tell me pain is the end, it's the beginning." Her words struck me like thunder. During the break, she approached me. "First time here? Is it that obvious?" I asked nervously. "You have the look," she said. Someone ready to change their life but scared to admit it. I felt heat rush to my face. "I'm trying." "Good," she replied. "Trying is more powerful than pretending. What's your idea?" I hesitated, then told her about the small business I'd been planning silently for months. As I spoke, she listened with full attention, something I wasn't used to. When I finished, she nodded. "Your idea has potential. But you're playing too small." "Too small?" I echoed. "Yes, because you're still thinking like someone who got hurt," she said. "Not someone who survived." Her words hit me straight in the chest. "I want to grow," I whispered. "Then grow loudly," she said. "I'll help you refine your plan." From that day, my evenings were filled with notebooks, research, conversations with Nina, and late-night studying. I fell asleep over my desk more times than I could count, but I didn't hate it. Each exhausted morning felt like a step toward the person I was trying to become. Slowly, the pain didn't suffocate me, it fueled me. I wasn't healed, but I was rising. From my own ashes. "I'm proud of you," Mr. Hamid said as he handed me the promotion letter. "You're one of the youngest managers this company has ever had." I stared at the paper, my hands trembling slightly. I don't know what to say." "Say you earned it," he replied with a smile. "I earned it," I repeated softly, feeling a strange warmth bloom in my chest. My small business was growing, my job was stable, and for the first time in years, I felt like I wasn't trapped in my own shadow. A deal knocked on my door later. "Manager," he teased, leaning against the frame. "Don't start," I said, suppressing a grin. "You deserve it," he said. "Just don't forget us normal people," I laughed. "I won't." My new office felt unreal. The desk, the shelves, the responsibility, everything felt like a piece of a life I'd once believed I could never have. I was arranging files when my receptionist called. "Ma'am, 2 visitors are here to see you." They said it's a business inquiry. "Send them in," I said without thinking. The door opened and my breath stopped. Daniel walked in. Maya beside him. My fingers went cold instantly. The universe had a cruel sense of humor. Maya's eyes widened in disbelief. "You? Here?" she said, her voice dripping with shock. Daniel stared at me as if he'd seen a ghost. "I didn't know you worked here." I forced my voice steady. "Good afternoon." "Please, have a seat." My tone was professional cold, even but inside my heart was hammering so hard I could hear the pulse echo in my ears. Maya flipped her hair. "We're here for a potential collaboration. But we didn't expect to see you." "I manage this department now," I replied simply, her eyes narrowed. "Interesting." Daniel shifted uncomfortably. "You look different." I kept my gaze neutral. "People change." "Stronger," he whispered. "You look stronger." I had no other choice, I said, keeping my expression unreadable. His face twitched with something: regret, confusion, guilt. I didn't care which. Maya leaned forward. "Well, let's get this over with." I explained the project details, keeping my tone sharp and controlled. My hands trembled slightly under the table, but I didn't let them see. Every word felt like a battle, but I finished the entire meeting without letting a single crack show. When it ended, Maya stood abruptly. "We'll discuss this and get back to you." Daniel hesitated. "Can we talk? Alone?" "No," I replied instantly. "We keep things professional here." A flicker of hurt crossed his face before he masked it. "Right." They walked out, Maya irritated, Daniel quiet. The door closed behind them and I finally exhaled, my chest tight. Adil appeared a moment later. "Are you okay?" I saw who came in. "I'm fine," I whispered, though my throat burned. "You held yourself together," he said. "I don't know how, but you did." I managed a small smile. "I won't let them break what I rebuilt." That night, as I sat alone in my apartment, the silence pressed against me. Old memories clawed at the edges of my mind, the betrayal, the humiliation, the nights I cried until my voice vanished. But instead of sadness, an anger rose in me. A sharp, clean anger. "I want justice," I whispered into the quiet. For the first time, the words didn't scare me. They felt right. I was reviewing monthly reports when I heard loud voices outside my office door. Maya's voice was unmistakable, sharp, irritated, restless. "Daniel, do something," she snapped. "We can't afford another deal collapsing." My hand froze on my laptop. I didn't move, but my ears sharpened instantly. Daniel responded in a low, frustrated tone. "I'm trying, Maya. Investors are panicking." "I don't know why they're pulling out all at once." "Because you're careless," she hissed. "I told you to focus." A strange sensation spread through my chest, shock mixed with a quiet, dangerous satisfaction. I never wished him harm, but hearing the cracks in his perfect world felt justified. Their voices faded down the hall. I exhaled slowly. Adil walked in a minute later. "You heard that too?" I nodded. "What's happening to them?" He shrugged. "Rumors say Daniel messed up some contracts. People aren't trusting him anymore." My heart beat harder. "Rumors?" "Pretty strong ones," he said. "But you didn't hear that from me." I almost smiled. Later that evening, during a business seminar, Nina leaned closer to me while taking notes. "By the way," she whispered, "have you heard about Daniel?" I stiffened. "What now?" She clicked her tongue. "Some of his investors backed out." "Apparently he made a few reckless decisions." I blinked. "Investors actually pulled out?" Someone told me he's desperate for a new strategy." I stared at my notebook, the pen slightly trembling between my fingers. "Life is strange." "Life is fair," she corrected with a smirk. When I returned home, I found a message waiting for me, from Daniel. My stomach flipped involuntarily. "Daniel, can we talk?" "I need some advice." Advice, from me. The universe had an interesting sense of humor. I locked my phone and threw it on the sofa. My business was growing steadily. Orders were increasing daily. And earlier that afternoon, Mr. Hamida called me into his office. "I want to invest in your business," he said. I stared at him, stunned. "Why me?" "Because your vision is strong," he replied. "And because I believe in people who rise despite pain." I swallowed, feeling my throat tighten. "I don't know how to thank you." "Build something great," he said. "That will be thanks enough." Now, seeing Daniel's message felt like a test from fate. Ryan called just then. "Alina, everything okay?" "Yeah," I said, though my voice shook slightly. "Just life being weird. You sound confused," he said. "Talk to me." Daniel messaged me. Ryan's silence sharpened instantly. What did he want? "Advice," he scoffed loudly. "After everything he did, he needs advice from you?" "I know," I whispered. "It feels surreal." "Block him," he said. "He doesn't deserve even a second of your time." "I'm not going to help him," I replied. "But I'm not going to be cruel either." "Why? He kicked you out like you were nothing." "Because I don't want to become like him," I said softly. Ryan sighed. "Fine, but be careful." After the call, I finally picked up my phone again and opened the message thread. My reflection stared back at me from the screen, steadier, stronger, different. I typed slowly. "Me, some lessons in life come with a price." I hovered for a moment, then hit send, then hit send. My chest rose with a deep breath, and for the first time in months, I felt something shift inside me, like a piece of my power had returned to its rightful place. Daniel didn't reply. He didn't need to. Karma already had. Rayan burst into my office the moment I returned from lunch. "Alina, you're not going to believe this," he said, waving his phone. I frowned. "What now?" He held the screen in front of me. "Daniel's mansion is on the market." My breath caught. "What? That mansion?" "Yes," he said. "The same one he kicked you out of. It's being sold to cover his losses." I stared at the listing on the screen, pictures of the hallways I once walked through. The living room where I used to wait for him, the garden where I dreamed of our future. My heartbeat echoed in my ears. Rayan leaned closer. Alina, buy it. I blinked, stunned. Are you insane? No, he said firmly. You earned more than enough to stand tall now, and Mr. Hamid invested in your business, right? This is fate. I shook my head. Rayan, that house holds the worst memories of my life. Then replace them, he replied. Take back what was used to hurt you. I swallowed hard. I don't know if I'm ready. He placed a hand on my shoulder. You are stronger than you think. That evening, I told Mr. Hamid about the listing. He looked at me with a knowing smile. So, will you buy it? I don't know, I admitted. Part of me wants to run. Part of me wants to fight. Alina, he said softly, he broke you there. Maybe healing means standing in the same place but feeling different. I lowered my eyes. Do you really think I can do this? Absolutely, he said. And if you decide to buy it, I'll help you with the remaining amount. Consider it my investment in your future. I stared at him. Why are you always so kind to me? Because strength deserves to be rewarded, he replied. Later that night at home, I sat at the dining table staring at the mansion listing again. My hands shook slightly. Nina called unexpectedly. Hey, boss lady, what's with the tense face? You won't believe it, I said. Daniel's mansion is being sold, she gasped. The same mansion? Yeah, she paused for a moment then said, So? Buy it, I groaned. Please not you too. I'm serious, she said. Imagine walking into that mansion with your head held high. Imagine owning the place where he broke you. That's not revenge, it's evolution. I laughed weakly. You all make it sound so easy. It's not easy, she said. But it's powerful. After the call, I closed my eyes and let memories swirl in the night. I overheard them. The morning he threw me out, the pavement where I cried until my lungs hurt. Then another memory came, me looking into the mirror months ago saying, you won't win. I stood up suddenly, grabbed my bag, and drove straight to the real estate office. The agent recognized me the moment I mentioned Daniel's name. You're interested in purchasing the property? Yes, I said, my voice steady. Let's begin the process. His eyebrows rose. Of course, Ms. Alina, right away. The paperwork took hours, but when I finally signed the last document, something inside me shifted like chains had snapped. A week later, the mansion keys were placed in my hand. Rayan insisted on driving me there. Ready? He asked as we parked. No, I whispered. But I'm going in anyway. When I stepped inside, the air felt heavy with memories, but my footsteps were firm. I walked straight to the room where I had once watched Daniel hold Maya. The room was empty now, silent. I touched the wall and whispered, Look at me now. My voice didn't shake. The weight I carried for months slid off my shoulders. I wasn't the same girl who was kicked out with a suitcase. I was the woman who just bought the entire mansion. The doorbell echoed through the mansion, sharp and unexpected. I was in the hallway unpacking a few boxes when it rang again, longer this time, almost urgent. I walked to the door slowly, my heartbeat steady, not anxious. When I opened it, the past stood right in front of me. Daniel? His hair was messy, eyes tired, suit wrinkled like he hadn't slept in days. He stared at me as if his brain couldn't process what he was seeing. Alina? He whispered. You live here? How are you here? I leaned against the doorframe. Because I own it. His mouth fell open. You bought the mansion? Yes. He blinked rapidly, voice shaky. But how did you afford this? Hard work, I replied calmly. Something you never respected. He swallowed hard. Alina, listen, I know I messed up. I know I hurt you. I raised an eyebrow. Hurt me? You destroyed me. His shoulders sagged. I didn't mean to. I swear I didn't mean to. I was stupid. Maya, she lied to me, manipulated me. I thought she loved me, but she... He stopped, running a hand through his hair. She left. I stared at him, expression blank. Left as in? She took money, he muttered. A lot. She drained my account and disappeared. My business is falling apart. Investors are backing out, everything is collapsing. And now, I said softly, you're here. He flinched. I didn't come for money, he said quickly. I came for you. I almost laughed. For me? Yes, he breathed. Alina, I'm sorry. Please, can we talk? Can we start over? I miss you. I miss what we had. I stepped back slightly, not out of fear, just disbelief. Start over? He nodded desperately. I know I made mistakes, but I realized what really mattered. It was you. It was always you. I looked into his eyes and waited for something: anger, sadness, hurt, but all I felt was emptiness. Quiet, peaceful emptiness. I rebuilt myself, I said slowly. Without you, he shook his head. But you loved me. I loved the man I thought you were, I cut in. Not the man who called me ordinary. Not the man who used me for his comfort. Not the man who threw me out like garbage. His face twisted with guilt. I regret every word. Regret doesn't erase what you did. He stepped forward. Please, Alina, just give me one chance, I'm begging you. I held up a hand. Don't. He froze. I continued, you didn't come here for love. You came here because your world is collapsing and mine isn't. His eyes filled with tears. That's not true. It is, I said. And even if it weren't, I still wouldn't choose you. Why? He whispered. You don't hate me? No, I said. I don't. He looked confused. Then? I feel nothing for you, I said simply. Not love, not hatred. Just closure. His lips trembled. So this is really the end? It ended the day you threw me out. He opened his mouth, but no words came. The silence stretched between us like a final curtain. I stepped back and gently closed the door. For the first time, the past stayed outside. Daniel didn't move after the door closed. I thought I was done with him, but then I heard a soft, trembling voice. Alina, please, just one moment. I turned slowly. He was on his knees in the driveway, head bowed, shoulders shaking. I can't believe what I've done, I sighed quietly. Calm, steady. Daniel, get up. Falling to your knees won't change the past. He looked up at me, eyes glistening. I made a mistake, the biggest mistake of my life. I was a fool. I interrupted softly. But you also taught me something important. He blinked, confused. Taught you? Yes, I said, my voice firm. Your betrayal showed me what I'm worth, that I deserve respect. That love alone doesn't sustain a life. He swallowed hard. So you forgive me? I shook my head slightly. Forgiveness doesn't mean returning to the past. It doesn't mean I let you back in. It means I let myself move forward. His hands twitched, and he reached out as if to touch mine. I stepped back instinctively. Don't, I said gently but firmly. This is not about you anymore. He flinched, but his voice came out soft, desperate. Alina, please, let me make it right. I'll do anything. I looked into his eyes, really looked, and saw the fear, the guilt, the shattered pride. And yet, I felt nothing for him. No love, no anger, just clarity. This mansion, I said, gesturing to the house behind me, isn't my revenge. It's my freedom. He blinked, trying to process. Freedom? Yes, I said, taking a step forward to stand taller. It's proof that I can rebuild, that I can rise without you, that I can choose myself. He sank further onto the pavement, the weight of realization crushing him. I see now I lost everything. You lost what you chose to risk, I said. I lost nothing. I only gained strength, clarity, and peace. His hands felt at his sides. His head bowed again. I didn't understand. It's too late for understanding, I said softly. You had your chance. You threw it away. He stayed silent for a moment, then slowly stood, shoulders heavy. Without another word, he turned and walked away, defeated, leaving only the fading echo of his footsteps. I watched him disappear down the driveway. The wind rustled through the trees, carrying away the last remnants of fear and heartbreak I had held for years. I felt the chains of my past fall from my shoulders. No regrets. No longing, no sorrow. Only me. Only the life I chose for myself. And for the first time in a long time, I smiled. The mansion wasn't just a house anymore, it was a symbol of everything I had survived and everything I had become. Finally, truly free. The renovation was exhausting, but every nail and brushstroke felt like reclaiming a piece of myself. I watched the mansion transform from a place of pain into a symbol of hope. Rain was the first to arrive for the opening ceremony. You ready, little sister? He asked, a teasing grin on his face. I think so, I admitted, smoothing my dress nervously. Think so? He laughed. You're going to inspire everyone today. Lara arrived next, her eyes shining. Alina, it looks amazing. I can't believe this is your project. I smiled. I wanted to create a place where women who've been hurt can feel safe, like I wish someone had done for me. Adil stood beside Nina, nodding. You've turned tragedy into power. I admire that, Nina added. It's more than power. It's love, self-love, strength, resilience. You're giving that to others. I took a deep breath as Mr. Hamid appeared, smiling warmly. You've made something extraordinary here. I'm proud of you. Thank you, I said softly, feeling the weight of his words. He had become like a father figure, guiding me without ever controlling me. When the ceremony began, I stepped forward to give a short speech. We all face moments that break us, I began, my voice steady. Moments that make us question our worth, our strength, our place in the world. But survival isn't about avoiding pain, it's about rising through it, stronger and wiser than before. I paused, letting the words sink in. This center is more than a building. It's a promise that no one has to face despair alone. And it's a reminder that even when we lose everything, we can rebuild, better and stronger. Applause filled the room, warm and encouraging. I looked at Ryan, Laura, Adil, Nina, and Mr. Hamid, grateful for their unwavering support. After the ceremony, I wandered to the balcony, the very balcony where I had once cried myself into numbness. The city stretched below, lights twinkling like stars. I closed my eyes, letting the cool evening breeze brush my face. I lost everything once, I thought, but now I have more than I ever dreamed. A sense of peace settled over me, deep and steady. The mansion no longer held memories of betrayal or heartbreak. It held purpose. It held hope. I smiled, truly smiled, feeling the weight of the past lift completely. This was my life now, full, meaningful, and mine. And for the first time in years, I felt no fear, only strength. Only love for myself and for those I could help rise alongside me. My story, once filled with sorrow, had transformed into one of justice, resilience, and hope. I was free. Finally, truly free.